My name is Imtiaz Ahmed Siddiqui, one of the cloud solution architects focused on cybersecurity side. I'm here today, this evening, to talk about something very exciting thing, that is generative AI-based security product, Copilot for security. Earlier, it was named as Security Copilot, but Microsoft is very finicky and keep on changing the name. So bear with me if sometime I call it as Security Copilot or Copilot for security, that means same. This is first generative AI security product to help security team and IT team to defend their digital footprint at scale. We are talking about cloud scale, everything is big. And at speed, we are talking about machine speed. And moving to the next one, before I just go ahead and directly jump into Copilot for security, a lot of us want to know about a little bit on the AI and generative AI. So a lot of you would have heard about generative AI because it is making a waves on news. Everywhere things are coming about generative AI, artificial intelligence, stock price for those companies which are making the chips. You would have heard today that NVIDIA has crossed, right? That has crossed Apple, that has crossed Microsoft, all because of generative AI and artificial intelligence. So it is making a wave, and we all are getting into that. So currently, a lot of consumers started using generative AI, and I'm going to share next screen, and I'm going to show you some statistics on adoption rate for generative AI, specifically ChatGPT. So while it is being used in the consumer, we as an organization, it is not left far away that our workforce is going to come and ask that, hey, I need generative AI capability in our products, whatever we use day in, day out. And when our workforce start asking and demanding about that, next level, our customers, our vendors, our partners, they are going to come and say that, hey, whatever the services you have provided, I want to see it is generative AI enabled. Yeah. Okay. Here is some data point here. When first time mobile phone came into the market, it took 16 years to hit the adoption of 100 million users. However, internet, 7 years. Facebook, 4.5 years. What about ChatGPT? Just 3 months. Within 3 months, 100 million users adopted ChatGPT. Okay. So, if you remember when iPhone came, online banking came, online shopping came, it was kind of little paradigm shift. Then when iPhone or smartphone came, another paradigm shift. Cloud computing came, little paradigm shift. Now this is the era of another paradigm shift, and this paradigm shift is going to happen the way we are interfacing with the machine, with the computer. I see some of us are older than me, so probably you might be able to recall that direct programming using the punch card. This piece here, let me just bring in here and see if I can get the mouse. Oh, my mouse is...
Just talk to it.
Okay, that's fine. I was trying to go and do some innovative stuff. So if you see here, direct programming means we used to use Copilot.
They need Copilot.
Okay, yeah, most of probably next few years we'll be having, I'll be speaking and it'll be annotating for me.
Display of it.
Right. So back in the days, 70s, 80s, we used to have the punch card where we used to just punch and feed into the computer. That used to be the input for the computer. Things progressed. Then we got command prompt where you can fire up the command by using a black window, which is DOS kind of things. Further things progressed. We got the graphical user interface where you got the mouse and other things. So now it is the era of generative AI where you will be talking to the computer in a very natural language. Now you need not to learn computer's language to make the interaction with the computer. Rather, computer is learning human's language to make the interaction with you, right? This is a paradigm shift. We need not to learn. I was talking to, I think, Mr. Gentleman here. We were talking about, he said that, hey, I didn't know SQL language, but I have been asked to write some SQL query. I was puzzling, but when I used some generative AI product, I just said that, hey, I want to find a duplicate record in my table. Within 10 seconds, a sample query was given to him. So means we need not to learn about the language of computer, rather than let computer should learn our language. And how it is going to be helpful for us? If you'll see the blue and green bar, skills and learning required to become more productive is shrinking. We don't need too much skills. It is going down. And inversely proportional, the productivity, scale, efficiency, and accuracy is going to be increasing. That is the green bar. That is the paradigm shift. All right. Though the topic is Copilot for security, but still I'm going to just go ahead and talk about little bit about artificial intelligence. So by any chance, does anyone know when artificial intelligence came first in the industry or in the discussion or in the academic? When this term came as artificial intelligence?
In 50s, like it.
Very close. Very close.
Alan Turing defined the Turing test, which could test whether artificial intelligence was good enough or not. But you have a discussion with it, and you can't tell that it's not a human. It passes the test.
Right, that's correct. So basically, this artificial intelligence came as an educational discipline between 1941 to 1956. That is the era when artificial intelligence came as an educational discipline. And definitely at that point in time, it was just educational discipline, nothing concrete which can be taken it up into the industry. And then it has evolved over a period of time. When first time I learned about artificial intelligence back in 1997-98 as a part of my master degree, I was thinking this is just theoretical. Practically, it's not possible. We were talking about neural network. We were talking about deep learning at that point in time. It was all theoretical. So we never thought that I can get to see that one in reality, which we are seeing it almost after 28 years.
Right.
So artificial intelligence is nothing but mimicking humans' behavior by machine. Machine mimics human behavior. It generates the cognitive ability to take some decision by looking the data, by finding it out the pattern. Then fast forward, we have got another subset of our artificial intelligence called machine learning. So machine learning, how it is little different than the legacy artificial intelligence is, it trains the model by itself. Okay, so it does not require human intervention to train the model itself. So when it is training by itself, by looking the data pattern, it becomes more accurate, more smarter. And then moving forward, the large language model, You might have heard LLMs. Okay, so LLM is the brain behind generative AI. So how LLMs are advanced, more advanced than machine learning. LLMs are multimodal, means it can not only work on text, it can work on text, images, audios, videos, or combination of everything. That is number one. Number two, so far before LLMs, whatever the models in AI were used, that did not generate the new content. And that's why it was not generative AI. Generative AI means the word generative. It takes some content, some data from the existing, whatever you provide, and it can generate the new content for you. It can generate the new image for you. It can generate the new videos for you. It can generate the new audios, music, whatever you want. So that is what the generative AI is. And generative AI is heavily dependent on a large language model. So large language model is the brain behind generative AI. So here by definition, it is a type of machine learning model that uses algorithms and models to generate new and original content. And it is multimodal. It can go with the combination of text, images, videos, and other data. Another important point to note is that it uses the natural language. You can use the natural language. Like when I'll be talking about Copilot for security, that has been rolled out in 8 different languages, not only just English. While generative AI can produce new content, now question comes that, hey, then whatever the data human is producing, that is going to be worthless. Answer is no. Human produced data is going to be your crown jewel that will remain very important. Machine generated data is going to be secondary. Because think about that, if machine generated data we are going to keep on feeding for our model, it might over a period of time it will become garbage in, garbage out kind of things. So when we talk about some of the AI principles, there one of the topic we do talk about that segregate your human generated data to machine generated data, and make sure give a full importance to protect your human generated data, because this is the base for machine to work. Okay. Now, when I talk to my customers, I try to sell Copilot for security. Sometimes we get the resistance, and resistance is one of the customer passed the statement. I was talking about, hey, we are going to set up some workshop, educate you Copilot for security. He passed the statement that, oh yeah, if I retain my job in next couple of weeks. Means he has a fear that Copilot is going to eat up his job. So two things. It is a Copilot, it is not autopilot. Keep in mind, there is a difference between autopilot and Copilot. It should be working side by side with you to make you more productive, make you more efficient, make you more accurate. Okay? So it is always going to add as a Copilot, rather autopilot. Second thing is, question comes that, hey, my job is going to be replaced by generative AI tools. Answer is absolutely not. Generative AI is not going to replace human. Generative AI is going to replace that human who is not adopting the new technology, who is not adopting the generative AI product. Because think about that, there are two team members, they are working side by side. One of the team member has upskilled, he learned about the latest and greatest tools technology like generative AI. He is more productive, he is more efficient. Definitely if elimination is going to happen, it is going to be happening here. So Individual is not going to be replaced by generative AI tool. Rather, they are going to be replaced by that human who is empowered with generative AI tools. I know it is very controversial statement, but I want to make sure that adopt it and try to use it whatever the products are available, rather than sweating too much by putting your lot of effort to do same job, which you can do by using these tools very efficiently and effectively. Okay, so this slide I'm going to just skip a little bit. This is talking about Microsoft journey in artificial intelligence. It started from 2016, where first time we have put together our initial investment in AI research. We have outlined the principles and goals for AI and its responsibility. We wanted to make sure that someone who is using artificial intelligence or any tools, products, there should be a proper guardrail around it. Okay, so in 2016, first time Microsoft has put together those principles and guardrails. I'm just going to go to next slide, which is talking about some key milestones. So 2016, Microsoft has put together AI principles. 2019, we have announced our partnership with OpenAI. And then in 2023, from security perspective, first time we announced that we are going to bring generative AI on our security products. And when I say generative AI on security products, sometimes people think that hey, we have written a wrapper on top of ChatGPT. Under the hood, it is ChatGPT. Microsoft has just written a wrapper on top of it. That's not the case, and I'll be taking you there and giving you in-depth information about that. So we rolled out this product in 2023. We opened it up for early adoption program for a handful of the customer. We got a good feedback, and then finally in April we announced this product as general availability. Okay, now I'm shifting the gear, and because a lot of you came here to listen and learn about Copilot for security, how generative AI is helping the security. So first, go ahead and take a look of here how our enterprise is transforming. Okay, now, if you go 10 years or 15 years back, for security team, the main purpose for them and main focus used to be there that, hey, this is my corporate network. I'm going to just secure my corporate network because all the systems are within that corporate network. Data center is in corporate network. Employees are coming, they are sitting, they are using corporate devices, laptops, desktop to access the corporate data and applications. But now that managed network, corporate network radius has blasted. Now in this era, you can use any device to access your company's data and application. You can access your company's workloads, application data from anywhere in the world. I'm on travel, I'm accessing from airport. Probably I'm just having the coffee at a Starbucks, I can access it. So focus has shifted from just protecting the corporate network to protect the identity, because people are moving around and they are using bring your own device. You can bring your own device to access corporate applications and corporate data. So the risk surface from the attackers has increased significantly. Earlier, it used to be just corporate network. That was the risk surface area. If you protect very well, mostly you are secure. But now, as your workforce is working from anywhere, using any device, risk area has increased significantly. And then second thing has added it up, the cloud computing. Earlier, Oh, I have got my data center here in New York, here in Seattle, two data centers. All my servers are set up here. Cloud computing have uplifted those data centers and move into the cloud. So your data center footprint has again increased. Means the entry point for intruder. I'll keep on taking the name as black hoodie, intruder, cyber criminals. That means same. The entry point for cyber criminals has increased significantly because they have got multiple ways, multiple entry points to make an entry in your digital footprints. So that is putting a lot of challenges to cyber security professionals, defenders, to protect and defend their digital footprint. Some of the things which are highlighted below: infrastructure is highly distributed. You have got your on-premise data center, you have got your data center on cloud. Lot of organizations started using software as a service applications. That is also opening the entry for cyber criminals. Then we are accessing from multiple places. Threats are not shared across vendors. Most vendors require a lot of people to manage, and I'll be talking about some data point which is going to give you the sense that how much shortage we are having on the talented cybersecurity professionals in the world. And while these things are becoming very complex, on top of that, the sophistication of attacks are also increasing. These cyber criminals, do you think that we are using these latest and greatest tool and we are becoming very innovative? Definitely, we are becoming very innovative. But do you not think that those cyber criminals, they are not using these tools? They are also equally using these tools. They are making these attacks very sophisticated. Okay. And dark market is a syndicate that is a very profitable organization, industry. So they are doing a lot of investment to produce some weapons, cyber weapons, which is readily available for anyone to buy. Few examples. In cyber world, cyber criminals prefer to log in than break in. Again, they prefer to log in than break in. Means if I can get a stolen key, I prefer to open your door to get into your house rather than breaking the lock. Same thing they try. On dark web, 1,000 stolen credentials are available for 97 cents. You spend 97 cents, you can buy 1,000 stolen credential. If you want to buy in bulk, $150, 400 million stolen credentials. So means dark web is also getting very innovative. So now the race is happening between the cyber criminal versus the defenders. We cybersecurity professionals are defender. Our job is to make their attack very costly. The more costlier we can make them, they are not going to get the return of investment. And if they are not getting the return of investment by making the attack on my organization, probably they'll try to find out other avenue. Okay. Okay. This is another interesting graph here. Cyber crime today equals the third largest economy in the world, and it is the fastest growing economy. What does that mean? If you'll see here, the data point, it is showing $8 trillion. The world has lost $8 trillion because of cyber crime, and this is after US and China. This is 2023 data. And do you think that this is going to go down? Absolutely not. The expected loss because of cybercrime in 2025 is going to be 10.5 trillion. That is expected. Now, from the growth perspective, that is the fastest growing economy because of cybercrime. And that is not going to go down. Few data points again here.
What?
If you see here, while sophistication is increasing, speed is increasing, scale, because we are talking about cloud. If you see here in 2022, we had 3 billion password attack per month. And in 2023, that has grown to 30 billion, almost tenfold. Last year, we had 1287 password attack per second, which has gone to 4000 password attack per second. And then the number of threat actors tracked by Microsoft, it has gone almost 1.5 times. Few more data points here. On an average, it takes just 1 hour, 12 minutes for attackers to access your private data if you fall victim to their phishing email. Just 1 hour to 12 minutes. So if you cannot contain them within that time frame, definitely you will be losing your data to them, right? Now, when I was talking about the race against cybercrime, it goes by blast off radius. So as quickly as you can contain the attack, you can minimize the damage significantly. So suppose if you contain them within 1 hour, the damage was in this circle. If that got expanded to 2 hours, it got exponentially increased, the bigger circle. If 1 day, significant bigger circle. So the race is that as soon as attack happens, in reactive way, you have to contain them as quickly as possible. And there, these generative AI products like Copilot for security is going to shine, because I'm going to verify.
Questions, MTS?
Yep.
One online.
Yep.
Can I interrupt everyone? I'll read it out to you.
Oh, just go ahead and read out.
Yeah. Will AI assist security and SOC teams filter out unnecessary false security alerts and pinpoint accurate alerts?
Security alerts and pinpoint the accurate alerts.
Yeah, will AI assist those teams filter out the unnecessary
Right.
false positives?
Right. So when I'm going to just give you the demo, I'm going to just show you when you reach to the incident and alerts, what's the effective way it is going to summarize the incident for you. So whatever the time you spend to going through all, suppose one incident has got 70 alerts. You need to figure it out every individual alerts on the timeline chart to see the chronology of event. You need not to do that. Let a Copilot for security summarize, give you a paragraph, you read it out in 15 seconds, you should be ready for next step. So yes, it does.
Okay, so, and you're going to show it.
Yes.
All right, thanks, MTS.
All right, the last one is 3.5 million global shortage on skilled cybersecurity professionals. Means whatever the volume we are talking about, on top of that, the shortage on the cybersecurity skills are adding it up significant challenge. So how these things are going to be tackled? Definitely we have to have some innovative product which can fill up these gap. Work at a scale, work at a speed, and that is where Copilot for security is going to shine. Few more data point here. I'm going to just leave for you to just look from the bottom. No need to look for the top one. That is just marketing stuff. Number of customer we increased. But if you'll see from the bottom, number of signals we analyze on daily basis. This is Microsoft data. We analyze every day. In 2021, it was just 8 trillion, which has shot up to 43 trillion. In 2023, it came to 65 trillion as of September 2023. Right now, I'm talking about 84 trillion. That cannot be done by human. Definitely human's brain required, but not for synthesizing such kind of signals, correlating, profiling, generating security intelligence gap, and finding it out, the needle in the haystack of the data. Finding the needle in the haystack of the data is going to be done by machine. Okay, so whenever we talk about cybersecurity or securing the digital footprint, we always talk three things: people, process, and technology. Again, just keep a note. Whenever we talk about security, securing your digital footprint, we are talking three things. We have to take care of these three things: people, process, and technology. A lot of time we try to buy, roll it out, latest and greatest tools and technology. But unfortunately, we are not focusing too much on educating our people, our workforce, and they do some mistake. And if they do some mistake, like they click accidentally on the malicious URL, phishing email, they got a phone call, like our workforce, they are not well educated, they don't know what kind of latest and greatest cyber crimes are happening in the industry, what's the trend coming it up. Probably they might fall a trap. Like voice cloning is the new thing currently it is happening. You get a call and they mimic your boss voice. You feel that, okay, my boss is calling, and whatever he'll be asking, probably you might end up doing that. So if your workforce is not aware of these kind of attacks, there is a fair chance they might fall in trap. And so what? One person has just clicked the URL, so what? Fine, he's in problem. My organization is not in problem. That's not the case. If one person fall in trap, he opens the door for criminals to get into your environment. And when the entry is made to your environment, to your network, then he start doing the lateral movement, elevating the privilege, whole bunch of things he can do. Okay. So we cannot simply ignore that, okay, one person fall in trap, he clicked the URL, that's fine. If you can contain immediately to him, then fine. If not, then it is going to be a problem. So as I was talking about technology, people, and process, and this particular slide is talking about that we need a new approach to defend our digital footprint. And why? From tools and technology perspective, again, one data point. As per Gartner's report, mid-sized to large organizations use 70, on an average, 75 different security products to protect their environment. Yes, you heard me right. 75 different security products. Now, these 75 different products are producing the data, telemetry. Are they compatible to each other? Sometime up to a certain extent, mostly no. Now, if you are using 75 different products, you are talking to multiple vendors. I'm not saying 75 vendors, but at least 5 to 10 vendors who are providing these 75 tools. So that makes the things very complex from manageability perspective, complex tool sets, architecture, correlation of the data, creation of the security intelligence graph. And while these things are complex, sophistication keep on increasing from attack perspective. That was on tools and technology. Then processes perspective, we have got disconnected processes. Oh, I have been working on-prem world, on-premises world. I have written my processes, and it was excellent when it was written for managing the on-premises world. But when I came to adopted cloud, same processes were force-fitting to manage the cloud environment. Is it the right thing? Answer is no. Because processes for managing the cloud environment might be different than processes for on-premises environment. So yeah, we have seen a lot of disconnected processes, which adds additional challenges. And then, as I was talking about, shortage of talent and expertise and their collaboration. So collaboration is another thing. Security team is mostly being seen as department of no. Oh, I don't want to go to security team. They are going to say no, right? This is very common pattern. By the way, I hold CISO workshop as well, Chief Information Security workshop, officers workshop, and when we open this dialogue, sometimes it resembles them when I talk about pattern and anti-pattern. And the pattern is department of no. Security is department of no. I want to change that. I want to say that no, don't act as a department of no. Rather, security team should be working with application team, infra team, cloud team, operation team, and asking that, okay, what's your problem? Let's work together to see what's the best way we can make our environment secure. Work towards positivity rather than just going and saying no. Okay, and then second thing is finger pointing. If any incident happens, immediately finger pointing starts happening. Infra team, oh no, this is application team's problem. Oh, you didn't enable the monitoring log there. Oh, security team, you did not look into those things. So this happens very common. This is ground reality and practical examples. So another things which I teach to CISOs that, hey, develop this as in a gamification way. Create as a team sports. Make sure carry out the drill, just like the BCR strategy drill, business continuity and disaster recovery. Create a drill for incident response. So if any incident happens, your team is having the memory muscles built, so that they should know that what's the way they can work together. Now, with all these challenges, whatever I was talking about, Microsoft is in a unique position to transform security for our customer, not only because we have invested significantly in OpenAI. Definitely, that is one of the OpenAI investment we did, and that's why we leveraged their model. But on top of that, Microsoft offers end-to-end security stack. What does that mean? You talk about endpoint protection. Any servers, endpoint devices, operating system like Linux, Windows, Mac OS, phones, mobile devices like iOS devices, Android, we do have protection for that. Data protection. Then we are talking about email protection. So we are having end-to-end protection for most of the security products. So what we are doing is that as I was talking about 75 different security products. When Gartner again asked to security executives and say that, hey, what's your go forward strategy? You want to continue with these different 75 heterogeneous security products? Answer was no. 72% of the security executives said that we want to consolidate the security products. We want to go with suite of products so that we can save the cost and we can avoid the maintainability complexity. Okay, so that is the consolidation. And then we are embracing the AI, artificial intelligence, which can help to increase the efficiency in defending your digital footprint at machine scale and speed. And that is what our Microsoft Copilot for security. This is our first generative AI security product to help empower the security team and IT team to protect their digital footprint, their environment at scale, cloud scale, at speed, machine speed. So this particular product is based on GPT-4. What is the acronym of GPT?
Based
Yeah, give a try.
transformer.
Pre-transformer, yeah. Pre-trained. So generative pre-transformed, pre-trained transformer, okay, GPT. Generative pre-trained transformer, okay. So it is based on GPT-4 model, which is from OpenAI, and then with Microsoft developed security specific model powered by Microsoft security unique expertise, global threat intelligence, and very comprehensive security products. I did talk a lot of things in that ones, and I'll be showing you one of the slide which is talking about all these things. So as we are having the suite of products which provides the coverage for entire spectrum, either data, either endpoint, either emails, and so on and so forth. Then we are having, okay, so I'm taking one step back. In cybersecurity world, it is being said, if you learn from your mistakes, you are a very smart person. But if you learn from others' mistake, you are genius. So here in cyber world, if you want to be very effective, you are not only just learning from your own mistake, you are learning from others' mistakes. What does that mean? That means that a lot of threat intels are available in the market. When we are correlating the data, profiling it, creating security intelligence graph, we just go and look into that threat intel database and ensure if any such things found already in threat intels, we just use that. Like, I have got an attack, and in my alerts, I have seen a couple of IP addresses coming it up. I can go and ask to threat intel's database, hey, what's the reputation of this particular IP address? It immediately pulls out, oh man, this IP address was involved and so place cyber attacks, please immediately flag it out, right? So Microsoft is having one of the largest threat intelligence database that is called MDTI, Microsoft Defender for Threat Intelligence.
But in that example that you mentioned where you're kind of relying on the community pool data, so to speak,
Yes.
participants need to have active consenting? Like
Yes, so this is basically, if you want to use Microsoft Defender for Threat Intels, it is having license, but Copilot for security, we are providing as an inbuilt capability. So if you want to use, you are not using Copilot for security and you are just running your SOC operation and you want to use this threat intels, it's not only just Microsoft is licensing threat intels. If you go to any market industry leaders on threat intels, you have to buy their licenses to use that threat intels. Similarly for Microsoft, that is called MDTI, Microsoft Defender for Threat Intels. But if you are using Copilot for security, as it requires a lot of the threat intels which is coming, so we provide as a part of Copilot for security.
it's like if you use this, you are opting in active.
Right.
You know, say.
Right.
In depth, another question from online. Since AI is ingesting this data that we're just discussing, would it be at risk of being attacked or poisoned or produced by some false results?
Yeah, so that's a very valid question. And these data, whatever I was talking about, threat intels data, these data is very protective data maintained by Microsoft security experts. Similarly, other threat intels provider, they protect their data very well. But now, as we are talking about that generative AI, I'm going back to generative AI, people are using generative AI, now criminals are finding a way to do some injection. How many of you have heard about SQL injection? Right? SQL injection, you are writing SQL statement query and they just put dash dash and just inject there. Similar to that, for any generative AI, as generative AI is heavily dependent on prompt engineering, you have to pass the prompt, they inject into the prompt. So when you are sending the prompt to generative AI tool, they sit in between, they inject the prompt and they send to generative AI injected prompt and then they take a control out of it. Right. So there are tips and tricks, what's the way you should be aware of. There are some guardrails available to make sure that you can avoid such kind of things.
I have a question. You mentioned OpenAI. Let me ask you, there's OpenAI, and OpenAI is open. So
Right.
I think you've got to put the security in such a way
Exactly.
in front of
Right.
OpenAI.
Right. So what is happening is there are two boundaries. Whenever we talk about Copilot for security, it is having its own boundary. It use the LLM model from generative AI, but that is being used for only very specific thing, like converting into the into natural language, summarizing it, all those things. But it goes, take it up, come back, and then put everything in our secure boundary. So if you pull it out, let me just pull it out if I can show you quickly, because you did ask. And bear with me if I cannot find out that public documentation, but I'm going to just give a try. Oh, my mouse is moving like crazy here. There.
Push the button on the top and tells it speeds it up still bit.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and that is helpful. I'm just going to pull. Copilot for security.
Wow.
This public documentation, I'm pulling it out, and as you did ask the very right questions, so I want to see if I can bring out. Yeah.
Good.
Let me just. And please don't get overwhelmed with this little complex diagram. Why? Bear with me. My mouse is not acting the way I'm expecting. And can I increase it? So I don't know whether you can see it or not. If you see here, this is having the trusted boundary, Microsoft Security Trusted Boundary, which is in the blue color. And every processing, whatever is happening for our customer from security related stuff, that is within this boundary. And it uses open AI model, whatever LLM model we are talking about. It doesn't use the generic model for it. What it does, it creates its own model in Azure boundary, and it uses that model, a copy of, a version of that particular model within the Azure boundary. Okay, now three things we highlight. Your data is going to remain your data, number one. Number two, your data is not going to be used for training the foundational LLM model. And then there is a third point as well. I'm just forgetting it. I'll be just highlighting. Okay, so that is given. No question, no doubt about that. Okay, and this diagram talks about all those details. There are full details on this one, and it is publicly available. Because trust is one of the main thing that we want to make sure. I mean, this is our tagline. Microsoft runs on trust. We want to make sure that our customers should be trusting on that. And third thing is, we never monetize customers' data for any purposes. Okay, let me.
Another question for mine. Is the AI just perfect out of the box, or does it, and I was training it to see if it provided, quite true that result?
Say it again. Is it?
Is the AI perfect out of the box, or does it need to be trained in order to provide true that?
Yes, that's a good thing. So when I was talking about machine learning trains itself in three different ways. One is called structured learning. Structured, as the name suggests, you give the labeled data, very structured data to train it. Another is called unstructured learning, where you can give unlabeled data. And third one is called enforced learning, where it learns based on your feedback on rewarding or punishing. If you are giving the feedback as yes, it worked, it takes that as a positive feedback and just ensure that it adds the value on the result on that one for going forward. If you give the negative sentiments on that, hey, no, it didn't work, that takes as a punishment and refine it further. So it is based on the refine and it is based on the reward and punishment model, and keep on refining the result.
Yeah.
Even when you get the response, you didn't like it, you just go ahead and say, hey, regenerate it. Immediately it is going to regenerate the content for you, and it will try to give a better response. Sometime it might take couple of or 3, 4, 5 iterations before you get the exact result whatever you are looking for. So that requires two things. Number one, how effective your prompt is for any generative tool. So prompt engineering is one of the key things. Effective prompting is very important. It might require little learning curve. So what we do as a part of Copilot for Security, we have already created the prompt books for you. So that if you are first timer, you are new, you are a beginner, you need not to sweat too much. Man, I used to use Google or Bing. I used to say this one, I used to get it. Here I have to give a full sentence in natural language. I don't know what's the way I should be prompting. No need to sweat. You start with pre-written prompts as a prompt book. Start from there, keep on refining it as it goes. Okay, so Copilot for Security, defending at machine scales, and some of the things I'm going to highlight, whatever the testimony we have got from our customer. One of the testimony is here at the extreme bottom. One of private preview customers says that it takes us 3 minutes to do a task that used to take at least a few hours. Okay. Simplify the complex things with natural language prompts and easy reporting. Let me talk about this. How many of you are working as a SOC analyst or in SOC team? Anyone? SOC is Security Operations Center. Okay, no. So normally in SOC team, what happens that when any incident happens, SOC team immediately get notified. SOC analysts start looking the incident. And one incident can have multiple alerts, chronology of alerts on the timeline chart. Someone just logged into this, they reset the password, they make the whole bunch of things. They take 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours to just understand all the chronology before they start acting on it. If you are using Copilot for Security, as soon as you select your incident, within 15 seconds, it's summarized by looking all the chronology, give a 1 or 2 paragraph in natural language. You can read it out in 30 seconds and understand the overall chronology of the event. That is the first thing. Second thing is, it does provide you the guided response that, okay, based on this summary, what exactly you should be doing to tackle this particular incident. If that incident involves any script, malware script, normally whenever criminals use any malware script, they don't use a plain script written in Python or any language. They use it, they encode it, and then they deploy it. So in order to decode, read through the script, it can take 30 minutes to multiple hours. You pass on to Copilot for Security, it decodes, reverse engineer that script, and give you in again plain natural language. So wherever you used to spend a lot of time to do this, it can do in few seconds. Now, if you have got a combination of expert SOC analysts who have been doing this, plus you have got fairly new junior resources directly hired from college, this can be very good buddy for your junior analyst immediately, because they can just use this and become little more effective and productive. And they can leave Rest of the task for senior analysts to do and where human brain is required. Human brain is still required. Don't think that Copilot is going to become autopilot. Absolutely not. And then the last thing normally SOC analyst does, after spending 4 days, they knock off the intruder out of their environment, they brought the system back, then they have to sweat by writing all the history as an incident summary. That is very boring task. Yeah, they have to go through every activity, whatever they followed by multiple team members, summarize it. That is called incident report summary. It does in 30 seconds, 1 minute, 30 seconds to 1 minute, depending upon how long you took it. And I'll show you all those things. And it's not only on the paper. Here is some of the feedback we have got from our early adopter customers. I'm not going to read it out for you. You can read it by yourself. So basically it's reality. Okay. So Copilot makes security simple by using the natural language. One more thing I forgot to mention. Normally in cybersecurity world, there is a one product called SIM, Security Incident and Event Management Tool. And any medium to large organization does use that tool. In Azure, we have got Sentinel. So what SIM does, it ingests all the security telemetry from various security products into this system and try to correlate, profile it, and stitch together the data to make it fruitful. Okay. So why did I bring this? Okay, yeah. So normally, if you use any SIM solution like in cloud, in Azure, our customers are using Sentinel. Sentinel is having its own language that is called KQL, just like SQL, Crypto Query Language. Now, hey man, my company has adopted Sentinel. Now I have to learn KQL to write the query. I'm sweating. I'm 45 years old guy again. I'm going to learn KQL, another language. Ask Copilot to write the query for you. You just pass that. Hey, I want to find out Imtiaz logged into how many devices and which has triggered the multi-factor authentication. Can you please write the query in KQL? It will generate the query for you. Take it up. 90% ready to use. 10% just view it. Make sure it is good. And boom, you are done. So that is natural language based. Okay, I'm just going to move on.
Dean, you get a question. Does security Copilot do threat hunting?
Yes, it does. So a lot of our customers are using for proactive threat hunting. By the way, those who are not having much background, so there are two things in for cyber security professionals or defenders. One is reactive, where I have got the incident, I have to act on it, make sure that criminal is out of my environment, system is back. Another is proactive threat hunting. Okay, so proactively I want to go ahead and find out any threats in the environment. Don't think that if a cyber criminal gets into your environment, immediately he exploits the system. Sometimes they get into your environment and sit for years. That is called passive attack. And government does a lot. Okay, nation-sponsored attackers, they do a lot. They want to just keep on stealing the data. They want to see how things are happening. Okay, some criminals, they want to wait for right time. Okay, I run my e-commerce shop and I want to compete with Amazon. Not compete Amazon, big guy. Let's talk about some boutique firm who is also having some e-commerce site, which is similar business. I hired someone, they got into their environment and they are waiting for the right time. Oh, Thanksgiving night, it is going to, a lot of traffic is going to come. I'm sitting, waiting. I developed everything, and boom, on 25th November night, I just exploited. So when they get into the system, they persist there, they make some movement, but not good enough for them to be caught. In that case, threat hunting works a lot. Okay, so prompts. Prompts are nothing but a natural language set of instruction that serves as an input for any generative AI tool. An example is here, hey, show me the Intel profile for threat actor, give the threat actor name, and create a bulleted list of associated indicator of this actor. This is a prompt. Man, I have to learn these prompts? Yes. As a cybersecurity professional, you have to learn. But don't sweat too much. We are providing out of the box prompt books. You can start with that, keep on refining as per your need. The better prompt you give, the less iteration you will be having to get the outcome. So some of the prompts here as a sample. Hey, can you please analyze the following script? And you can give the exact script whatever intruder cyber criminal has used. Oh, where did it go? Sorry. Okay. You can ask Copilot to summarize the script. Copilot is going to read that script, reverse engineer, and give you in a very natural language. Now, next one is, why was ABC? Why did it keep on going back? I didn't do anything. Is it having some timer? Why was username prompted for multi-factor authentication? It is going to pull it out that, hey, which conditional access policy has been triggered? It is going to just find it out for you. Hey, summarize one of the incident in Sentinel. Oh, I think it is having some timer. Sorry about that.
Copilot.
Copilot is doing something. It is playing with me. Buddy, you are Copilot, not autopilot. It's better don't mess up with me. Generate a KQL query. This is what exactly the example I was talking about. And this KQL query is giving generate and run a KQL query within Microsoft Sentinel to hunt for break glass account usage. Right. So these are all some good prompts normally our cyber security professional starts with. Okay, it was dying to come to this screen. Let's come to this screen. All right. So, and trust me, there are a lot under the hood, a lot of engineering involved under the hood. The only topic, if I can pick it up, is tokenization. That takes hours to talk. Whatever the prompt we provide, the way it tokenizes, it itself is a big a topic to talk about. But here is in summary, when you submit a prompt, behind the scene there is something called orchestrator engine that takes your prompt and then it builds the context, what exactly you are looking for, and based on the context building, it try to find out which is the right plugin. And when I say right plugin, think about this. Copilot for security is not a Defender product. This is not Defender. It is not going to defend your environment. What it is doing, it is working with a lot of Defender products to make your life easier. So if you are asking Copilot for security to do something for you, it need to go and find it out the details from those Defender products like MDO, Microsoft Defender for Office, MDI, Microsoft Defender for Identity, MDE, Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, MDCA, Microsoft Defender for Cloud App, MDC, Microsoft Defender for Cloud, MDIoT, Microsoft Defender for IoT. These are all the Defender products. I'm just giving the name few. MDTI, Microsoft Defender for Threat Intels. Okay, multiple Defender products are there. So it has to go and pick it up the right plugin to hook it up and get the data from relevant Defender product. So that is the job of this orchestrator to find out the plugin. And sometimes we recommend that whenever you are prompting, it's better to, if you know that, okay, I have to pull it out the user identity or entity, it's better to give enter ID so that it need not sweat, immediately go and pull it out the details. That is part of skilling in prompt engineering. And then it gets the response. After getting the response, it combines all the data and context, then add into the by using the model and provide the response. By the way, whenever you supply the prompt or it gives you the response, there are a lot of things are being done behind the scene. That is called grounding work. Grounding or removing the hallucinations. This is evolving product. It can give you the wrong answer. It does create some hallucination as well, false response. So there are a lot of things engineering is being done to reduce that hallucination. Reduce, I did not say eliminate. This is not that innovative product which can zero it down everything. No, it reduces. Still there is a chance. Though we have put our best effort to reduce that, but there is still chance of hallucinations. And one of the example, someone has asked that, hey, give me the details about this ID, and that ID was common vulnerability exposure ID, CVE ID. But it did not provide in the prompt that CVE ID. It looked at ID, found some details from medical record and pulled it out the medical data. Not Copilot, I'm talking about a generative AI tool. So those kind of hallucination can happen. And then grounding means adding the context, right? If I'm asking the temperature, I'm asking the temperature, hey, what is the temperature currently here and how the weather is going to look like? It doesn't know that, hey, from where temperature I'm going to give it. So it finds out the geolocation, add the context that, oh, I'm looking for Houston temperature. So those kind of, just basic example I have given you. Those are all part of grounding work. And then removal of or elimination of any abusive language, anything which is not appropriate for human to understand and learn about it.
Good.
Okay, moving forward a little bit. I think this is going further forward. Okay. So how Microsoft Copilot for security has advantage here over any other generative AI based security product. First of all, the reason why we have unique value proposition here is that we are using the OpenAI generative model along with hyper-scale infrastructure we are having because we have our own cloud infrastructure, and then on top of that we are having a very specific cyber-specific orchestrator trained on the security to match the specific skills. And then we are having a massive amount of threat intel's data, which we infuse into this product to make the result beneficial for you. And I'm talking about 84 trillion signals per day kind of volume. So Copilot for security working with Microsoft products. So there are two variant of Copilot for security. I was talking about that we do have multiple Defender products, right? MD, MDI, MDO, MDTI, and blah, blah, blah. So Copilot has been embedded into these products. So you can directly start from those respective Defender products. That is called embedded experience. But those version of Copilot for security embedded in that particular Defender product is contained in the boundary of that Defender product. Then we have just created another standalone version that is called Copilot for security standalone, which works on top of all these Defender products. So I'll keep on talking about embedded experience and standalone. So here, first one is talking about Microsoft Defender XDR. It runs the queries using natural language, prepare reports, summarize graphs, upskill teams via prompts and guidance, and reverse engineer your scripts, malware scripts. It enriches the alerts as well if required. The next one is the embedded experience in Sentinel. Whatever it is doing on Microsoft Defender XDR, on top of that, it enriches incidents also. Moving forward, Intune. Intune is device management, Defender product. It also adds the posture of the devices. And then similarly, we have got Purview, we have got external attack surface management, threat intels. It is being embedded on all of the security Defender products. So when I was talking about we have massive amount of threat intels database, and here we are talking 78 trillion signals, which was few months back. Now it is 84 trillions. So Microsoft is the largest cyber security vendor in the world. We are managing four largest public cloud platform. So the number one is M365, Microsoft 365, which is here. If my mouse allows me to go there. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I don't want to mess up. M365, Azure, Xbox, and Dynamics 365. So four major public cloud, we are managing it. Then second thing, in the middle, we get the signals from 1.5 billion endpoint across the planet. Huge volume. And then we create the security graphing for the entire internet to capture the data, telemetry for it. So it is a combination of everything which makes us put us a very unique position, and even our competitor, they are not even close to whatever the volume of data we are having from threat intel's perspective.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to just go a little fast because I'm going to take you to some of the demo session. How to use generative AI accurately. Few things. As I was talking about, it is Copilot, not autopilot, number one. Number two, it is a tool. It can produce some hallucination. So always whatever the outcome comes, the good part is that whatever the data it produces, that whatever the result it produces, it gives the references, okay, from where it is pulling it up the data. It provides the link. So you have an option of going and validating it. I'm not saying get into very deep down to validate and spend more time in validation than whatever you would have done manually, but at least sanity check. So personally verify, do sanity check, make sure it is picking it up from right data sources, and then I beg all of you who are using, provide the feedback for every result, because it is reinforcement based model. It learns based on the reward or punishment. So whenever you get the result, click thumbs up, thumbs down.
Hi, I'm sorry. Maybe it wasn't clear in terms there. Okay, Copilot security is Azure product, right? So it has access to Azure infrastructure.
That's correct.
To what extent does it have it? Does it have access to like that IAM stuff? Does it have access to because that's because in your question of view data sources. Like, what does it have access to? What does it not have access to?
Right. So very good question.
And not to interrupt your presentation.
Yeah. No, that's a valid question. Okay.
But you can answer at the end of it.
No, I'm going to take it up right away.
But that says view data source. What type of data source?
Right.
Are we talking about Azure data source? Are we talking about
Yeah, I'm going to talk
data
about.
sources? Are we talking about CVE?
Yeah. So Copilot for security is sitting here. As I said, this is not a Defender product. Definitely, it is sitting on top of multiple Defender products, right? Like Microsoft Defender for Identity, Endpoint, Office 365, and so on and so forth. Now you should be enabling the plugins with to the downstream products and make sure that those plugins are enabled. So whatever the plugins you are going to turn it on, there are toggle button, it is going to work with those downstream products. That is number one. Number two, if I'm not having access, even though I turn on the plugin, and if I'm not having access to MDI, Microsoft Defender for Identity, it is not going to pull it out the data for me.
Well, assuming that we're saying this a company-wide, right? In support, Microsoft support, Azure support would help us kind of open it up. You would help us open it up.
Right.
Right? Yeah. There's some like, there's certain plugins, but there's certain plugins that does not have access to.
So plugins you can turn it on. It means you are telling that, hey, if someone is asking this question, what system, downstream system you should be looking for. But now when it just check that system, it takes your permission. It works in OBO, security context, on behalf of. So it is going to take your security context, what kind of privileges you are having, whether you have access permission on this product or not. If you do have, then only it is going to pull it out and show you the data. If not, sorry, you don't have access to downstream system. Yes.
Take it offline as well, because what are the best practices? Because from your perspective, right? Because I would say that the Copilot security should have access to everything, right? I would say that, right? But we can take it offline.
Yeah, we can talk about that, but definitely, I mean, like if we are working as a SOC analyst, normally SOC analysts, when they work on all the Defender products. Okay, so they can get like SOC analyst, SOC responder. If some is responder, means they can get the data in a read-only mode. They cannot make any changes on the incident or alerts. They have got the responder access, means they are pulling it out the data. They cannot make the change. SOC analyst, they can go and make the changes to the incident alerts. They have got the analyst and so on and so forth. So depending upon their permission sets, it is going to pull it out. Otherwise, it say that, hey, you don't have access to the system. Sorry.
Yeah. So I was about to ask the follow-up question on that. So let him say, like, no, different teams are working with different products on the soft team, like Sentinel and CrowdStrike and so on and so forth. But let's say Copilot access, that account is compromised. So then it's a big risk, right? So how do we, what is the recommendation on that?
So the account for accessing the Copilot for security, if that account itself is compromised, means that is a big deal, right? So definitely that is also one of the accounts, just like other accounts. So you should be having a mechanism to block that. And if you are having any automated way of blocking it, perfectly awesome. So that immediately as soon as account got compromised, automatically Defender is going to block that particular account. But it will be just like any other account. So you are not having any very specialized account. Definitely you can have admin for Copilot for security, which can go ahead and temporarily disable everything. But account compromise is account compromise, whether the risk
is more, right? Because like it's controlling all that.
It's not controlling. So I want to just be very clear. It is working on multiple Defender products. Okay, forget about Copilot for security. I'm SOC analyst. As a day-to-day job, I'm going and logging to multiple Defender products to carry out my day-to-day job. I'm Sentinel contributor. I'm getting into the Sentinel to take a look of all the incidents and event. Very similar. If my account is compromised, definitely I have to block it. Otherwise, I might be looking into all the system. Copilot for security is another system and same account you are using to go through all those systems. So you are not adding any additional risk. Whatever the risk you have been carrying here for this product, same risks you are carrying there as well.
And I think a nuance he has is what type of agent ability is this called iron?
Agent.
Yeah, that's kind of what he was getting at, right? What kind of agent abilities? And what I'm hearing from you is that add none pretty much.
Right.
Versus they can't do anything. And just like
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. Build with security, privacy, and compliance. I did pass this statement earlier that if you are using Copilot for security, whatever the data it is going to use it is going to be your data. Your data is not going to be used for training any foundational AI model. And then from protection perspective, it is by default protected at the level of any enterprise compliance and security controls. Okay, in next 4 minutes, I have to flip to. Okay, very quick. As I was talking about, in 2016, we have created some framework and the principles. These are all the 6 principles Microsoft has created, which we are calling as responsible AI framework. So whenever the response is given back to the user, these principles are being applied to the responses, and if any of the things doesn't match, it filters out those things. And responses, the principles perspective, fairness, transparency, inclusiveness, accountability, reliability and safety, privacy and security. I'm not going to go through all of these items. They are publicly available. If you can search for Microsoft responsible AI, it is going to talk about all these things in detail. So the goal is empowering one cybersecurity professional to operate like a team of many. You are the main pilot, and then you have got Copilot working with you. This Copilot can be human, or this Copilot can be a tool. Here in this case, it is a tool. Just summary, it catches what others miss with deeper understanding of your enterprise, outpace adversary and enable response in minutes, not in hours, because in case of any active incident, time is money. You want to make sure, because race starts, and whoever won the race, they can make the adversaries immediately outpaced and get out of your environment. And then strengthen your team with the expertise, because as we have seen some data point, 3.5 cybersecurity skills gap. So definitely you can make a lateral movement from your application team, infra team, cloud team, and ask them to pick it up the cybersecurity role in your organization, supplemented by such tools. So they can be productive from day one. Again, if you want to take a snapshot of this, these are all the top 10 prompts. Okay. Again, here I have provided these prompts, but definitely when I'm going to just take you to the demo environment, live demo environment, you can get to see that some of the prompts are already pre-built. And we keep on creating more prompts as we are moving forward, based on working with my customers, our customers, partners, and even some other system integrators. And again, I don't think I need to read out these prompts, but these are all some good prompts which I have put together here. All right, experience Copilot today to transform the way you work. ak.ms/Copilot for security. That is the short URL. Time for demo.
One question.
Yep.
Just why you're talking to if you like. How often should LLMs used for AI be validated so they're not outdated?
How often LLM is being?
How often are LLMs used so AI validate?
Yeah. So basically, whatever the chart I was showing here, did I close that? I think I closed that one. So when the prompt is being given to Copilot for security, it takes that prompt, add the context, select the right plugin, hook it up the downstream system, get the data, and while it is passing the prompt, definitely it is doing the grounding work and other things. When it gets the data, after getting the data, then it goes to LLM and say that, hey LLM, can you add up additional context if it is happening? Plus, can you just summarize it? Can you convert into the natural language, and so on and so forth? So when it is going to finally respond it back, two steps before that, it goes to LLM, get in natural language, add up additional grounding, apply responsible AI principles, and then pass on. So one time.
So I think he asked, how often is that LLM updated to be give you better response?
Yeah, so how quickly LLMs are being updated, once I'll find it out, I'll let you know, because that is under the hood. The only data point I can talk about all the way the journey from GPT-2 to GPT-4. So when GPT-2 came into the market back in 2018, it was trained for 1.5 billion parameters. Then things progressed. GPT-3 has been announced in 2020. It was trained on 170 billion signals, almost 100x, right? 3.5, I think 500 something trillion. And then finally GPT-4, on which this model works, that is trained on 1 trillion parameters. That's the data point I can talk about. But yeah, how frequently they go back and train it, I don't have the input on that. That is under the hood.
So a question to that, not just slowing you down there, but effort. The good point is this: is that if this releases a new CVE today, right? Is it included in the context of the prompt, or is it part of the fine-tuned example?
Yes. So
That's the big question.
right.
You don't really care how often it is.
Right. So here LLM we are using for Copilot for security product, we are not heavily relying on LLM for finding it out the facts. We are just using for massaging the data and creating into natural language and doing some summarization and all those capability. Keep in mind, this product also uses some public information from public side. CVEs, if new CVEs came into the market, it is available in CVE database. It goes hook it up there also and get the latest and greatest information from there. So you find it out, I'm going to just show you the latest CVEs. And I'll
To answer the question is, it's directly available.
Oh yes.
Once it's available in video,
Yes. So it is not like that, hey Chad, yeah. So GPT-4 was trained in October 2023, so it is now stuck to that level. That's not the case, because it uses the latest information from publicly available, take it, pass on to LLM to carry out some of the language processing, summarization, and all those
so it
things.
sounds like it's part of the content.
Oh yeah.
And the other question, I'll take it offline with you, which is the context length. That's very important,
Yeah, so
right? Because if you're moving your Azure system and you want it to analyze everything, it cannot analyze.
right. So there are some limits on tokens. So 2048 tokens are limit as of today.
2000 what?
2048 tokens limit. Now, how does it translate to number of prompts, number of characters? Probably I need to go back and look. But current limit for tokens are 2048.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's probably not including the grounding and all these other things that
So for grounding, you need not to pass on those things. That is internal built-in capability. Yeah.
it's like,
Okay. So first I'm going to just take you to the standalone variant of Copilot for security, and the URL is securitycopilot.microsoft.com. When you, can you see it properly? Okay, I think it is visible.
Bigger MTLs.
Yeah.
You said the cheap.
You can use control plus.
Yeah, I use this mouse is not very friendly. Normally I use another zoom it tool that is very good, but mouse is not supporting me, so I want to just go with the very traditional way of going to clicking and all those things. Okay. So when you come to, and now it is better, right? The font is better?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's great.
Yeah. So when you come to Copilot, securitycopilot.microsoft.com, by default, you will be getting similar kind of window if you have already got any session. Session is very typical term, whatever we have been used on web browsing, very similar to here. If you open a new session, it starts from there, and then you keep on adding the prompts. It generates all the context within that session, and you need not to keep on repeating the things. You are just like talking to a human. And whenever you are talking to a Copilot, you should be referring as you, rather than, hey, Mr. Model or Model, can you give me? No, you should be, can you give me? Can I take from you? This kind of conversation you should be having it. So whatever the last sessions you would have used, it gives last 4-5 sessions here. So immediately you can start from there. Like I have been doing a lot of vulnerability assessment impact. And for your information, if you see in my last session, when I was doing a dry run, I picked it up one of the latest CVEs, and you will see this is 2024 CVEs. And I fired up 3 hours ago, and I said that, hey, can you just go ahead and give me this the assessment for this vulnerability? Let me just go and directly jump into that before I go somewhere else. So I came to this one and I asked them that, hey, can you please summarize CVE 2024-26-169 in a short narrative indicating if the vulnerability is a remote code execution, blah, blah, blah. And once I did, again, I can go ahead and edit this prompt, and it is going to run it again. After when it ran, it carried out few activity for me, and here is the response. Published on March 2024, high severity vulnerability with the CVS 3, score is 3, based entire detail in plain language. Okay, and then after that prompt, I fired up another prompt and I said that, hey, can you please identify, excuse me, any threat intelligent article or threat actors associated with this particular. If so, summarize the content and include the links to the source content. And here is all the sources, it is coming it up here. And here are the references. Okay, this is coming from MDTI, it has just pulled it out from MDTI. Okay. Now, SOC analysts can do all these things by themselves. It will take little time for them to go ahead and do it.
Okay, one quick question.
Yeah.
This kind of summarizes the CD for us, right?
Yep.
But what about using the C, analyzing your infrastructure for the vulnerabilities that
Right, that is another prompt where you'll be saying that, okay, based on this CVE, can you find out all my devices which are being impacted by this CVE? Yeah. It is going to go and hook it up into your MD, Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, pick it out, all the devices which is affected by this CVE.
so it can,
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
do you guys do some tuning for that? Or, because every CD is different, right?
Yeah, yeah. So
you guys do something anyway?
yeah. So MD is having that capability that it assess when it carry out the assessment, vulnerability assessment, it assess across all the CVEs, and whatever the finding it finds, it tags there in MDE, right?
Yes, preferring.
Okay, so coming back here on the user interface, so first you will get to see all the sessions here, and top 3-4 session it shows here, but if you want to see rest of the session, you can simply click here on the session. It is going to pull it out all the sessions. Now if you come little down here, it will show you some prompt books. Now there are two things, prompts and prompt book. As the name suggests, prompt book is collection of prompts. Okay, so as a SOC analyst, I'm coming and first I want to see the summary of my incident, then I want to carry out some activity, then at the end of the day, I want to summarize the incident. So probably I carry out 4 to 5 different activities for every incident. So those 4-5 activity are those 4-5 prompts. You can put together all those prompts and create a prompt book. And when you run the prompt book, it is going to run all those prompts in a sequence, one after another. Like here, if I'm going to just go ahead and say that, hey, can you please... So I'm going to go there. And next, coming back here, this is the main prompt where you should be firing it up your prompt and asking Copilot for security to do something for you. If you don't know the prompt, you simply click on this. It is going to pull it out of the box prompts available for you. Hey, can you go and analyze this particular IP address using Microsoft Defender for Threat Intels, VirusTotal, CrowdStrike, and Shodan. Some system capability, analyze a script or command, analyze security data. So these are all the prompts it is having it. The sources, this is one of the question came that, hey, which are all the system it should be looking for? So here are the plugins. These plugins are downstream systems which Copilot for security is going to look into. Now, again, it is not ingesting the data from downstream system. It is using the plugin, hooking it up, looking into the system, whatever the relevant data it has got based on my permission, get the data, come back here. Okay, only specific whatever you are asking for, rather than ingesting everything, just like SIM solution where you have to ingest everything. So by default, we provide the plugins for most of our Microsoft Defender for product. But as I was saying, that mid-size to large organizations are using various different security products, third party. Okay. So we do have some plugins available for non-Microsoft products, but you can create your own plugins by following the steps we have documented very well. So these are all the plugins you should be using it. Now, the other ask came from our early adopter customers that, okay, these plugins are good, but we do maintain our knowledge base. So can we include our own knowledge base? So we have provided here the knowledge base. You can upload the files and it should be able to refer and get the data from those knowledge base. When you are using knowledge base and you want Copilot for security to go and check it out in your knowledge base, in prompt, it's better to use the word as from the attached or uploaded document. As soon as you use the word uploaded document, it knows that, okay, I have to go and find it out something, whatever you have provided as your own knowledge base. And these are all some learning on the prompt engineering side.
And there is a limit to 20 minutes.
Yes. Yes. So let's take a look of some prompt libraries. I want to just go and show you. Yeah, those limits are to start with, but I'm pretty sure we will be improving those limits down the line as we will be progressing ahead. So there are limits on number of files and the size of the file at this point in time. Like here, if I say that, hey, go ahead and do the investigation on one of the incident in Sentinel. So normally any SOC analyst they have to fire up these 6 to 7 different prompts, like start with summarizing the Sentinel incident and passing the incident ID. Then tell me if there are any entities associated with that incident. Entities means user ID, computer, IP address, and so on and so forth. It is going to just summarize that one. Then you want to ask if there are any IP address, go and check it out in Threat Intel's database whether that IP address has been found in any other attack. That is called reputation score. Then next one is show the authenticated methods set up for each users involved in that incident, specifically indicating whether they have multi-factor authentication enables. So on and so forth. So these are all the list of all 6-7 activities normally any SOC analyst in your environment does when they get any incident and look into the Sentinel. Now let me take you and run one of the Yes, it does integrate with multi-factor authentication because it is hooked up with Intera ID, which is Azure Active Directory, and it looks for multi-factor authentication there. But if you are using any third-party multi-factor authentication system, that is, you have to ensure that you are enabling the plugin or writing the plugin. Let me pull it out. Let's see something in action.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to just hook up the prompt and I'm going to select that. Hey, oh, again, I think I have to go so let's live with this font size because we can get to see everything. If I just increase the font, I'm wondering that we will not be able to see anything. I have to set a lot. Okay, so hooking it up, the first prompt book where I'm going to just pass on the Sentinel ID. I'm going to run it. When I'm running it, now it will start executing the prompt after prompt which are given as part of this particular prompt book. Take some time because it is doing a lot of activity behind the scene. And one more thing is that whatever it does, it provides all the details, what exactly it has done, all the sources, whatever it has referred, so that nothing is behind the scene. You should be having all the options to go ahead and validate it.
Okay, great.
Now, if you want to just summarize what all the activity has been done, you select from here and pin it. As soon as you'll be pinning it, on the right side, the pin board appears. This is the pin board. And you expand it here. Here is the summary of investigation in a plain natural language. Summary, incident overview, associated entities, malicious IP address if it has found, and so forth. Okay.
Is that like a very good class series? I think somebody could should there code.
Let's say it again.
Is that a very good class verify the somebody what to test product?
So cross verification is always possible because the source system is still for this one, whatever I'm showing, this is Sentinel. You can always go back to Sentinel and look for the incident because that it is not generating incident. It is just taking it up the details from Sentinel. So you have always source system. In fact, when it pull it out, the device detail, it gives you the link. You click on the link, it will take you Microsoft Defender for Endpoint portal, pull it out that device and show you immediately. Okay. Yeah.
As I may be having set up protocol and sound like what are the parameters that I have to check, and this is providing you some way on it. So,
Right.
can I predefine these kind of trust?
Exactly. You can create your own prompts, prompt book, and when you are creating your own prompts, it is parameterized based, and you can supply the parameter that, okay, for this prompt, These are all the two parameters I need to provide. So as soon as you run that prompt, it will give you the box, just like here it gave as incident ID. You supply those parameters and it take it up, embed, and then start executing.
Okay. And Chad, a quick question, does this interact with multi-factor services like Okta?
Yeah, so I quickly responded to that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I responded. Yeah.
That.
Because when I was looking this screen, that popped up. Yeah. All right. So let me just go ahead and take it up one or two more demo if my mouse allows me to do. Where is my mouse?
Push the wheel in, Tiaz. I think it slow off the wheel on the mouse. It will slow down.
Okay. Let me see.
It's up.
So now I want to just go. So probably let me see if I can find one Defender demo which I can show you. That will be more.
Welcome.
Okay, so I'm just going to show this demo, which is a script analysis. So sorry, I missed that question. There is some question how long the data is ingested into. So what is that? Can you read it out?
How long is the data ingested into security code?
No, we don't ingest any data in Security Copilot. It just goes, use the plugin, reach out to a downstream system, get the specific data, whatever you are looking for, give the response, and it does not hold that data.
So there's no memory.
No. So if you are going to rerun or edit and rerun, it is again going to hook it up that particular system using. So it is just like you can think of at a very high level as API call. It is making an API call, getting the data, showing you, that's it. It is not persisting the data. Okay. This is another example which is I'm going to ask that, hey, can you please go ahead and analyze one script for me? Suspicious script analysis. And if you'll see in this prompt book, is this script malicious? That is my first question. Then second one is provide the reputation of IP address if this has got anything. Then further keep on adding it up. Is there any screens are not presenting? Oh,
I can see it.
no, he's saying that on the Teams it is not presented. Are you able to see on the Teams?
Yeah, I'm in the Teams.
Okay, so probably he has got some problem. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm going to just provide the script here, and this is some command line script or partial script. I think this is command line, and I'm going to just run it. Okay. Thanks, Kim.
Yeah.
Picture.
So as I was having 6 or 7 different prompts, so it started executing one after another. And once it is done, you will be getting something like this. The provided PowerShell script performs the following actions step by step. It suppressed the error message. This is the error message. It created a new object, then started downloading the invoice.exe. Then the intent of this script appears to be downloading and executing a potentially malicious executive file from this IP address. Okay, so this is the way normally it goes, does reverse engineering, analyze, and give you in a very systematic way as a natural language response to you. All right, with that, I want to take a pause and see if we have any questions which I can try to knock it off.
So regarding the cost, so is the cost per unit on?
Right. So we made it simple. So earlier there was some sign up cost Like for EAP customer, I don't want to call it out, but heavy lump sum amount you have to pay before you start using it. But when we announced this product as a GA general availability, we brought it very simple so that even a small to large organization, anyone can go ahead and use it. So it is on consumption based, and the unit is called SCU, Security Compute Unit, and it is $4 per SCU per hour. So you can spin up one SCU, you can start using it. When you start hitting that cap limit, it will prompt you that, hey, you are hitting this limit. Either you can just take a pause there, or you can just bump it up to from 1 to 2 units.
So I was trying some basic queries here. When you were to run some basic queries, it was asking like 3 or 4.
No. If that is happening, there is something wrong. You can always check with your whoever the Microsoft rep is there, and see they can reach out to product team and they can figure it out.
Okay. And
Do you have any more content to share?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Keep going. I'm going to show up.
The only thing I want to highlight that whatever the prompt you are giving, make sure you are giving a very effective prompt. Otherwise, you'll be going into multiple iteration and it will be consuming your SEOs here.
so do I need to delete that instance or the
No.
we don't?
No. Whatever you hit run, it consumed the unit, that's it. Your session is persisted, data is not persisted. If you use the same session and again you want to just get the data, you have to run it again to get the data.
Okay.
Any other question? Yeah.
So are there like in the pilots that you were doing, were there specific use cases on like identity access management with this?
Identity.
Like IAM, identity and access management, and how was Copilot kind of solving what were the use cases?
Yeah, so basically when we talk about user identity, it's privileged, multi-factor authentication, conditional access, all those things, definitely we are referring to our Inter ID, which is Azure Active Directory. It is hooked up with that one. So if anything you want to check it out, whether this user has what kind of permission, whether it is having a MFA enabled, why MFA got triggered, what conditional access policy has been kicked in, all those things, yes, it is integrated with that. It should be able to pull it out all the details for it.
Adding any extra value in terms of like a workflow or an orchestration in the context of Intra ID, or is it more like aggregating the results and providing?
Yes, as I said, this is not a defender product. This is not going to defend anything. Okay, this is simply going to use whatever the defender products you are having, security products, and stitching together the workflow to make your life easier, make your work efficient, make your work productive, make your work accurate, more accurate. I shouldn't say 100%, but accuracy, it is going to increase accuracy. So those things, this is a convenient tool rather than defender tool. It is make your life more convenient.
And lastly, can it do like a use case where it can do work of like somebody at the service desk who is helping with password reset and all?
Yes.
Can this like automate their entire flow to help?
Yes, you can automate all those things, definitely. In fact, whatever the automation you are writing, suppose you have written a big queries to do the automation work, you can create a plugin, a custom plugin, hook it up from there and say that, hey, go and reset the password and just provide the user ID. And it will hook it up, that custom plugin, execute that query behind the scene, take your parameter and go ahead and reset.
That could be a risk if it's a man in the middle attack, then that actually.
I mean, tools are tools, definitely. I mean, if someone gets into your environment, do ransomware, lock it down, everything is at a big risk. But yes, if you as an analyst who is doing, IT analyst who is doing the password reset, you are at risk even though you are logging through one system, same thing. Because it is taking your credential, it is not super, it does not run with super users security context that, hey, it has got all empowered to run on any system, do anything. No, it takes your security context, run on behalf of you. So if you have permission, you could have screwed up by using another system as a help desk support. Same thing, you are just going through this tool. So it is not using super user power kind of thing.
So what would be the role of technology service providers, like normally Defender or Sentinel technology service provider go implement those tools, create policies,
Yep.
in this case, Copilot security, is there any role for
Or definitely, they can be more effective. They can start using this, whatever they are doing. Suppose I'm CSP or MSSP, managed service provider for providing this security. Probably whatever the amount of time I have been using to support two customer, by using this tool, I can enhance it and support to multiple.
user perspective, right? Anything on the implementation side?
Implementation side, like you got a business requirement, business is asked to put some additional attack surface policies. Now you need to go through, scan through all the policies to figure it out which one is the matching one. Ask Copilot that, hey, what is the relevant attack surface policy meeting to this business requirement? Let it pull it out for you. Within fraction of minute you got it, implement it and move on to your next work. So rather than spending a lot of time for doing clerical jobs, sorry, I didn't mean offend anyone on the clerk word, but means where your brain is not required, but you have to do it because it is a stack of details. You need to figure it out, nail it down. Those things just pass on to this guy. Yeah. Any other questions? I want to take it up. Any question on the teams?
No more.
Okay.
All right. That's it. Thank you, Ted.